My name is Elliot and this is my card game Influencer. Now just quickly I want to say that I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can put your email addresses. If at any point through this video you think that game is right for me, please just pause the video, go down, click the link and add your email address into the list so I can let you know when it's available. Now I'm absolutely delighted to finally be bringing you this video that I've finished this game and I can launch it this year. But to do that I'm gathering email addresses with a view to set up a Kickstarter and hopefully get some pledges and backers behind it to help me realise this game and get it out to everyone. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into it. So Influencer, you are essentially a budding social media influencer looking to build your profile and grow your following as quickly as possible so you can secure the coveted influencer contract. But there's all kinds of hurdles along the way. You could get your account reported or blocked for spamming or inappropriate content. Perhaps someone's going to make a copyright claim against you and steal your followers and steal your posts. There's all kinds of things going on like hacking and conspiracy theories, and you've got to watch out for those internet trolls. So there's lots going on in the game, but don't let me just talk through it, let me show you. It's pretty quick, easy to set up, easy to get going and perfect for all of the family. In the game, you'll be posting content to your profile coming in variations of 5, 10, 25 and 50,000 followers. So every time you post content, you'll be building a following. There's a whole host of different types of characters, familiar faces that we've all seen online. So whether you're a pretty face getting massive amounts of followers, a keyboard warrior looking for an argument, or wincing at the awkwardness of someone taking a selfie of someone else's misfortune, we can respond to these posts in a variation of ways. Followers can be fickle, so protect them from being stolen. The signed deal card ends and wins the game. You play this card on your turn while retaining the target number of followers. But there's a catch. It's not always that simple. Let's get into the setup. How to set up the game. Deal 6 cards to each player. Place the remaining cards in the centre of the table. This will be your draw pile and is known as the internet. At this point, all players can explore their hand and see which cards they've got. If you've drawn any immediate cards at the beginning, place them back into the deck and draw a new card instead. If any immediate cards were put back into the deck, a quick shuffle of the deck and then place it back onto the table to start the game. The deck is known as the internet. This is where we'll be drawing cards. Next to the deck is the trash, where we can discard cards. In front of you is your area of play, which is known as your profile, and your hand is known as your account. At the beginning of your turn, draw 2 cards from the internet and place them into your account. From this point, you've got 3 card plays available. Content cards always cost 1 card play and are posted into your profile. Action cards cost the relevant card cost. If it's a blocked card, it's played on another player's profile to block their account. Other action cards are played into the discard pile to use their ability. And finally, fame cards are played on the corresponding content card to protect them from being stolen. All cards with a 0 action cost can be played at any time throughout the game. Now you don't have to actually play any cards on your turn, you can pass on to the next person. Now you can only hold a maximum of 7 cards in your hand at the end of your turn. So if at the end of the turn you've got more than 7 cards, you can choose which additional cards to discard at the end of your turn. If during your turn, or at the end of your turn, you run out of cards, draw 6 new cards from the deck. If you've still got card plays left, you can continue your turn. There are 3 different types of cards in the game. There are content cards, there are action cards, and there are fame cards. Content cards explained. Content cards are social media posts and look like this. Now, content is king, so the more you post, the more followers you're going to get. But the information you're going to be concerned with is this bit here. This is how many followers this particular post will get you. Content cards come in a variation of 5, 10, 25 and 50,000 followers. When playing content into my profile, I like to stack them in order of value to keep it clear for adding up. You'll notice on the content cards you've got this scroll bar, much like the scroll bar on your phone or on your laptop. As you're posting content to your profile, you'll see the scroll bar at the bottom. It covers it up from one card and makes the scroll bar go down, just like it does on your phone or a laptop. Action cards explained. The action cards look like a mobile phone. At the top you've got the card title, on the bottom you've got the card description, and on the side you've got the quick information. At the top the icon of the card being played, and at the bottom you've got the cost to play. They will either cost nothing to play, 1 of your card plays, or 2 of your card plays. If you see something you don't like, you can report it and block their profile, preventing them from adding content or winning the game. If they were blocked for inappropriate content, they'll need the unblocked inappropriate content card to unblock their profile. If they don't have the relevant unblock card, in this case spamming, they might want to make a public apology, but it will cost them their smallest follower card. All cards with an unblocking ability have this symbol. There are also misconduct cards which change the game entirely, but these affect the cards in hand, not the cards in play. You can create a fake profile to switch cards with someone. You can hack someone's profile to steal a card, but the conspiracy theory and trolled card have to be played right away and you've got no control over what happens. Through the game, you'll be chasing viral cards. These will build your profile and help your following grow a lot quicker. Some of them also have an unblocking ability. There's a few more action cards which are particularly special for building strategy. Copyright claim to steal a post, shut down to stop any action card being played, and search the deck. The benefit of retaining the copyright claim in your hand means you can watch for the biggest follower card being played and steal it at your leisure. The downside is, remember, if you're blocked, you can't add content to your profile, so you wouldn't be able to play it. If you don't like an action card being played, you can shut it down and cancel any action. And yes, that does include the signed deal to prevent people from winning. The search engine is particularly helpful and doesn't cost anything to play. You can search the top 5 cards of either the draw pile or the discard pile and add it to your hand. Finally, the fame cards. When your profile receives a bit of fame, your followers become loyal followers and are protected from being stolen. These are played on the corresponding content cards. One final point of strategy to add is with the signed deal card. If it's not being played at the end of the game, you can just use it as a cash card for the second ability to buy followers. By using this card, you can play an additional content card into your profile at any time. Example: if at this point I have 3 card plays, I can play the signed deal card's second ability for no card cost, adding a content card to my profile and still having 3 card plays on my turn. So the beauty of this game really is it was designed so you didn't have to take up much space on the table. You can play it wherever you are. Now, I've spent a lot of time working the festival circuits. There was times where we'd sit down on the floor on the grass between bands coming on and off, or we'd sit around the tents having a drink. It's perfect for those moments. For students that are at university, this is fantastic for you, particularly around the pub. The times when I was working through this game and playtesting it, the best playtests were always just taking it to the pub. The first time I actually went to a pub in Wrexham where we took it to playtest it with a few friends, and the entire pub just stopped and turned around, wanting to know what was going on, just because we were having so much fun. So if that's you, if you're the social type of person, then you will love this game. But let me add as well, it's not your simple, typical type of party game. There's actually a surprising amount of depth and strategy to the game, which is easily overlooked until you actually get to play it. Now, this is one of those games that has a lot of replayability, and the more you play it, the more you realise that perhaps I didn't do things quite right the last time I played, but I know what I can do to change my game and get better this next round. If you're like me, an extremely competitive person, and you love those games where you can challenge your friends and get better than each other, and I've got a particular friend who I can think of who is very competitive, and anytime we play games, if I know I'm not going to win, I'm just playing to stop him from winning, and hopefully someone else will win. So there's all these kinds of dynamics, and the way that you can play is so varied because there's so many different types of variations and card combinations that you can play. But equally for people, for younger kids and families, it's not that difficult to pick up and grasp. So there is that very simple, quick, easy learning curve just to get into the game and play it. And as I said, there's a lot of replayability. So the reason I made this game was it was a game that I wanted that just didn't exist. There's a lot of games out there that are very complex in terms of setting up a board, and you can't just play it and pack it away quickly. This I enjoyed because I like to play and just make friends everywhere I go. When I was in the bank playtesting and I was waiting in the queue, I'd just stop and say, hey, do you fancy a game of cards? And we'd sit and play cards, and I'd make new friends and they'd learn about the game. So it's great in any situation, really. So my typical day job, I'm actually a chimney sweep. So I spend my days chimney sweeping, but it's quite seasonal, and often there's certain times of the year where it goes particularly quiet, and at those times I'm more a stay-at-home dad. So in the odd times here and there that I've had that I can spend doing things, I've been developing this card game, and it's been an absolute joy. So there's a few people I want to address now, and the first of those are parents that are buying games for their children. Now this is good in the sense that an influencer is the language that the kids understand. Now, a lot of us as parents get frustrated with children just constantly on their phones or on their computer or on technology. This is a language they understand, and it's a great opportunity to get them off those screens and around the table and socially interacting and playing again. But as I said, it's a language they understand, so they'll grasp it and should be able to engage with it pretty easy. Another group of people I want to address are the seasoned board gamers, the board gamers that play really complex heavyweight games that might be looking at this and overlooking it as just simply a party game. And I just want to encourage you, just get a chance to play it. Play it once and you will see the difference. It's available on Tabletop Simulator. If you want to play test, you can go to the Runcorn Board Games group on Facebook. This is where we have our regular board games night. And this is in person at the local church here, but also if you're not local to this area, you can play online on Tabletop Simulator, as I've said. So if you click onto that group, you can see details for playtests. And finally, I want to address the university students and festival goers. Now, this game is really aimed at you guys, mainly for the lifestyle. So there's lots of times where we're sitting around or we need to wind down from things, we've got a bit of spare time, and this game is fantastic for that, particularly if you're having a study break or you've got some friends over when you're doing your studies, getting your work together for your final pages, your final work, and you need to take some time off just to switch off. And sometimes TV just doesn't cut it. This will. It's a fantastic game, a lovely bit of interaction between players, and just a lot of fun, a really easy way to unwind. So I'd highly, highly recommend this for you. For you festival goers and travellers, this is fantastic for you as well, particularly travellers. I know myself when I was touring, I was constantly on the road using airports and things like this, at bus terminals and coach stations. It's a perfect sort of game that you can just sit anywhere you are, splash it out and get into a game and have a lot of fun. It's a great way to pass a bit of time. Even if you've just got a few minutes, it doesn't take long to play. 10-15 minutes can sometimes be a little bit quicker, can sometimes be a little bit longer. But it's very easy to pack up when you've got to jump up and go. But finally, and most importantly, if you ever see me personally out and about, I've always got a copy in my pocket. So if you want to play, stop me and say, hey, do you fancy a game of Influencer? The answer will always be yes. Lastly, as I've said before, there's a few details, a few links in the description below. I'll put you a link to the website, but more importantly, a link to the mailing list where you can find out about this game and where to buy it as soon as it's launched. It just means that the moment I launch it, I can email everyone and try and get people behind it to support it and pledge it all at the same time. The quicker everyone pledges together and the quicker at the moment it launches that people pledge it and it funds, the more people it will reach. So if you can, as soon as that email comes through, if you want a copy of the game, pledge straight away, because it does mean that there's more chance that it will get to more people and more people will know about the game and play it.